How's everybody doing today? So, one of the most difficult things you'll find, especially initially in your spiritual journey, is that you have to detach from outcome. When you're working hard on your vision work and your manifestation and law of assumption and all that stuff, your first goal is to detach yourself from the outcome of it. So you're doing the work and you're expecting a certain thing. You have an expectancy, but you actually have to detach from the outcome, because when you detach from the outcome, you're not emotionally involved anymore, and your emotional attachment to certain things usually initially start off with like they're fear based. So you're trying to manifest, but you're actually kind of like fearful that it won't come to pass. Like you believe in it, but you're kind of like also afraid that, what if this doesn't work? So you have to detach from outcome. That even goes for like relationships. So if you're in a relationship and you have expectancy, you actually have to detach yourself from outcome. You might expect that person to do certain things, and then it'll frustrate you if they don't do them. But you have to detach yourself from that in order to gain your power back. A lot of us rush into relations. So detaching from outcome is a broad base over a lot of spiritual stuff. So when I talked about manifestation, your vision work, it also works with relationships. And if you jump into a relationship real quickly and you have expectancies and that other person doesn't meet those expectations, you might most people start reacting to that, right? You'll react into a negative way. But if you detach yourself from outcome, you'll gain your power back to where you don't need to have those expectations. That person will either go away or change to what was more vibrationally matched for yourself. And it's pretty black and white when it comes to that. And it's kind of hard to swallow a lot of times, because the person that you might be involved with, you might love them, or they might love you. But if you detach yourself from outcome, you'll learn real quick if they're going to stay around or if they're going to be in there for the long haul in a harmonious way. Unfortunately, with the spiritual journey, we were taught everything wrong from childhood, and even relationships we're massively brainwashed on how to enter a relationship. The way you're trained to do it and the way to be in one is nothing like how you're supposed to be in a high vibration. None whatsoever. Everyone focuses on the vanity, the monetary gain, the greed, the what can you do this for me and I'll do that for you, the transactional side of relationships. Everything in the United States is transactional. We are taught transaction, money for this, barter for that. We're not taught to be in community and to love everybody and then do stuff in a harmonious way. It's like, do for yourself, greed, selfishness, and everything's transactional. So if you don't do this, I won't do that. And then you say, well, Brandon, what if I'm the person that's giving all this? I'm giving my heart to this person. I'm doing everything in the world for them, and I'm doing things for them and taking care of them, all that stuff, and it's not working out, and they're like being mean to me or whatever. Well, I'll say, did you detach yourself from outcome? Did you expect them to honor and appreciate you for the gifts and the love that you've been showing them? If you did, you didn't detach yourself from outcome. And if it's irritating you that they're not meeting you on some level that you feel that you need for your love, well, and you already detached from outcome and you gave everything that you gave, well, that might not be the right person for you. You're just gonna have to accept that. That's if you detach yourself from outcome. If you didn't detach yourself from outcome, you won't see the clarity, and the universe won't make itself known energetically and change things around you in order for that to be harmonious, if it's supposed to be. Now, I kind of like focused a lot on the relationships when it comes to detach from the outcome, but like I said, it's with manifestation and the vision boards and all that other kind of stuff is very much associated with that. I don't call it a law, like law of assumption. You have law of attraction, law of positivity, all that stuff. Law of reflection, whatever the case may be. Don't get wrapped up in terminology. I always preach that in my videos. Detachment from outcome is just another tool you can put in your tool case in order to fix the world around you. The stuff that I teach is just all tools, right? Like you apply the stuff the knowledge that I'm giving you, and that's how we'll aim towards a better, a higher vibration and a fun and exciting spiritual journey. Sometimes it's not always fun because there's a purge. The purge effect happens very early. If you weren't in alignment very early, like if you've been out of alignment really bad and then you start doing your spiritual journey, remember that I told you can't sell darkness. You will purge. So your emotions will purge. You'll get upset. You'll start crying. You'll start getting pissed off. You'll get depressed. You may even have thoughts that are not very kosher at all, like suicide thoughts might come around. You might start drinking because you're just trying to deal with what's happening. You're going to purge, and you're also going to physically purge too. So you're going to excrete toxicity out of your body, going number 1 and number 2 and number 3. And it sounds gross and everything, but it does happen, because when your body cleanses itself, it does it physically too. Just like when you're on a diet, like you're gonna get rid of all that stuff, and then you might even notice that certain foods will make you sick, or you'll be like sick for like 2 or 3 weeks and you can't go to work, and like, oh man, I'm worried about losing my job. It's like, wait a second, what? You're worried about losing your job? Is that where money comes from, or does the money come from the universe? Does the universe take care of you? Do you believe that? The purge happens so you can shift into a different reality. The universe wants you to be you. The universe wants you to be your best self. You are limiting yourself massively, or closing yourself off if you're not being your true self. And the universe wants you to be your true self. That's why the purge happens, because a lot of that toxicity, mentally or physically or emotionally, whatever the case may be, is got to get out of you so you can get centered again. And the universe is like, okay, now I can put the serendipitous situations in place. So the manifestations come in, the love, the compassion, the high vibrational energy, all that stuff occurs when that takes place. And you might have more than one purge, so don't think it's just a one and done, because a lot of times if there's a lot there, it'll be more than, it'll definitely be more than once a year, and just expect that to happen. And like I always say, I always try to tell you guys the truth. You can't sell darkness, and the dark side of spiritual journey is that you have to go into that dark place a little bit in order to release it. And that's why those emotions come up, is for you to detach from outcome, detach from those emotional reactions. Everything in our lives is like taught, everything is a separation when it's more like a cohesive consciousness. Everyone thinks they're separate, and you're not. You're connected through this planet, this reality, and everyone else's consciousness very, very much directly. You're a co-creator with God, so why do you think you're separate if that's the case? Now you may say, oh, what about the NPCs, the non-player characters in this video game simulation? Well, you created that. If you ever watched the movie Inception, those projections are in the subconscious mind. Those projections show up in the dream because you got to populate the video game. You created it. You wanted it there so you could have an experience. And then it's your job to find out who's real and who's not. If you're in alignment, you'll find out real quick. And you might not be able to. You won't be able to stand. You won't be able to stand certain things in your life that you've been doing. You might not. You'll stop. Sorry, I'm having trouble speaking here. You may get fed up with your job and you're at work because it's just making you sick. If you drive during rush hour all the time, it'll make you sick. You'll stop driving in rush hour anymore. And you say, the only way I can stop driving in rush hour is to change my job, get out of my job. Well, it's like, obviously, those two are correlated. If you don't, driving in rush hour is creating part of your problem, and you're having a job that you go to that you hate, and you have to drive in rush hour 2 on top of it to get to work, which just compounds your anger. Your passion and what you're supposed to be doing in this reality will come into fruition if you let go and detach from the other stuff. And let go of the fear and everything like that. That's all I wanted to basically tell you. It's a few days in between my videos now. I'm trying to keep up with it. I'll at least post a video at least once a week for right now. I might start increasing more in the future. I've got some good things coming along. I'll let you know about that. I'm working on a podcast with someone else we think we're going to do it through Spotify, but it's not. I don't want to tell you that it's available yet because we're in the very initial stages of it. We've recorded a couple podcasts already. We're just getting it set up and everything to see how it's going to go and see if we want to put it on Spotify. We might have it on YouTube, but I'll let you know about that. It's very early stages, so I just want to let you know there's some exciting things that I'm involving myself with somebody else in order to give you guys more spiritual information and discuss world events and how it's related to what's going on with spirituality and the awakening and all that kind of stuff, and get different perspectives and that type of thing. And as always, I greatly appreciate you guys watching my videos, and have a nice day.